My name is Mike Fontenot from Hampton Roads, Virginia, and I'm here to talk about raising faithful daughters. My wife Terry and I have 3 daughters. They are now faithful married disciples, and we now have 7 granddaughters as well. I'd like to talk about 5 practical tools that have helped us to really raise faithful daughters. First thing, daughters can do great things. Acts chapter 2, verse 17, it says there, your sons and your daughters will prophesy. You know, Jesus makes disciples. There's a great scene with Martha and Mary, and Martha is so upset that Mary is sitting at Jesus' feet, and so she doesn't get upset just with Mary not serving. She gets upset with Mary because she's sitting at his feet, which is a metaphor for she is a disciple. To raise great daughters, raise them to be discipled and to be disciples. Secondly, character is everything. There's a great passage in 1 Peter 3, verse 3 and 4 that says, your beauty should not come from outward adornment, such as elaborate hairstyles and earrings of gold jewelry or other fine clothes. Rather, it should be that of your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. We need to teach our daughters, and we taught our daughters, beauty is from within. You know, even questions of modesty is about helping them to understand that attractiveness, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be attractive, but the attractiveness that counts is attractiveness that attracts from the inside out. The third point is teach them to serve. There's a great scene in Genesis chapter 24, verse 12, where Abraham's servant has the task to bring home a wife for Isaac. And so he goes off, he wants to find a reason, or how can I pick the right girl? And he has this test. The one I go, and the one who says, when I ask her, can I have a drink? She says, sure, and I'll water your camels too. That's the one. And sure enough, he asks this young woman, can I have a drink? And she says, sure, I'll water your camels too. And the servant knew that Rebekah was going to be the woman in Isaac's life. What was she like? What was the sign? She was going to be a servant. I mean, what is more important in being a great disciple and a great wife and a great mother than being a servant? The story of Ruth and Boaz. This is a great scene where Boaz is drawn to Ruth because he heard her story, how she was serving her mother-in-law. Fourthly, the first point is we have to teach them to be in the world but not of the world, as Jesus says in John 17, verse 15. We must watch them and teach them. You know, it's so important as dads that when our daughters really need us, especially in those teenage years, there's a good chance we're really involved in our jobs and working on our career paths. The big challenge is to say, whoa, I'm really busy, but this is more important. Let me focus and teach my daughters how to be in the world, but not of the world. Fifth and lastly, pray with them daily. There are 2 decisions that will control the happiness of our daughters' lives more than any other decisions. And that is the decision to become a disciple and a decision about who they're going to marry. From the very beginning, I prayed over them, and as soon as they could understand, I prayed with them that one day God would help them to become a Christian and also to marry a strong Christian. 5 quick points about how to raise faithful daughters. Thanks.